Hello, friends, and welcome back to Mr. Payne Games, where I attempt to help you game your classroom. That's right, today I'm not helping you just game your English class, I'm helping you game any class that you have to do writing. Look, my bed is gone again. This keeps happening to me, I don't know why. In previous episodes, I've talked about how communication is really important. It's why I do what I do. And so I felt like it's a good time for me to explain one of the ways that we communicate through writing. The writing that you'll have to do in high school might be to communicate your feelings, and that might be more of a creative kind of exercise. But most often, you're probably going to be communicating your opinion, your idea, or even like information and facts. This kind of writing is what we in the English biz call thesis-driven writing. Now, thesis is a term that should sound somewhat familiar to you. In your science classes, you've heard of a hypothesis, no doubt. In the scientific method, a hypothesis is what a scientist thinks will happen if a particular variable is changed. They start an experiment with a hypothesis and they see if what they think and what they expect is actually what happens. In the writing world, a thesis is what you're going to prove, and that's what you need to remember. A thesis is what you're going to prove in your writing. So, uh, understanding and knowing what your thesis is before you start writing is really, really helpful because it helps you, the writer, focus on a particular idea or a particular set of ideas so that your writing is focused, just like a magnifying glass or corrective lenses, if you wear glasses or contact lenses, help to focus your eyes and make things clear. You see why a thesis is so important? It makes things clear. All right? So, if you haven't figured out yet, I'm working on creating a space where I can make a farm. I really want to be survivable. The last time I talked about going and exploring the cave a little bit more and seeing if there's a spawner down there, but I decided that I want to survive. So I'm going to figure out a way to make myself some food first, and then maybe after I have some food and a source for my health and things like that, then maybe I'll go and explore the cave a little bit more. But for right now, I'm working on building a farm because I want to survive this world. Now, back to thesis and thesis driven writing. This is so very important because whenever your teacher asks you to do academic writing, they want for you to learn to focus on your main point, to not be distracted, and to communicate it clearly and effectively in a relatively concise way. Um, what happens if you don't have a thesis statement is that you'll do what my dad used to call chasing rabbits. That would be like, I just told you that my purpose for the Minecraft today is to build a farm. Well, it would be chasing rabbits if I went off on uh, an adventure of killing cows or sheep or something so that I could get beef and uh, I don't know, whatever it is that sheep drop, um, so that I could have those food items. It might be beneficial in the long run, but it's not what I'm trying to focus on today. Does that make sense? We want to be focused on the task at hand, on making the argument and supporting it with relevant details and evidence and things like that. And that's what a thesis statement helps us do. It helps to focus our ideas so that we don't go off chasing cows whenever we should be making a farm. All right? Now, in our longer writing exercises, multiple paragraph writing assignments, you have to have an introduction. We're not going to just plop our reader down right in the middle of our main content. We need to introduce them to it. It's like saying, "Hello, I would like to introduce you to my friend, this piece of writing." Okay? Sometimes in my classes, I talk about it like a sneak peek or a pregame show, where if you watch sports or movies, you know that a sneak peek, a movie trailer, it doesn't give you all of the details, right? But it does let you know what the movie's going to be about. In terms of sports shows, the pregame show, they don't tell you what's going to happen in the game. They don't know that yet, but they do tell you about the teams, they tell you about the athletes, they prepare you for what you might see in the game, and that's exactly what an introduction paragraph does. You start out with a hook. That's the first part of a good introduction is a hook, which is intended to make readers more interested in what you're going to write about. Ideally, you'll have enough interest in what you're writing about, you'll know enough about it that you can say something interesting. A lot of times in middle school, maybe your teachers have taught you a a method or two or three for writing a solid hook. And those are generally decent ways to write a hook. But whenever you get to more sophisticated writing, you don't have to use those formulaic methods of like asking questions or using a poignant quote. Just say something interesting about your topic, about what's happening in the world with your topic right now. Um, if you even if you're writing about something historical, you can say something about how this important historical event has impacted the world that we live in now. And what that does is will it'll meet readers where they are at. If you say this is something that we experience in the world and it's a common enough experience, then your readers will say, "Okay, yeah, I see that." Right? Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. That like your goal is to connect with readers in that hook statement. Then comes what we call the background or bridge information, and that's just enough information that your reader knows what you're going to be writing about. It's not all of your evidence, it's not your best quotes and the best stuff that you have, because you need to save those things for your body paragraphs. It's just enough information that lets your readers know this is what I'm going to be writing about. And then finally, the last part of your introduction is a thesis statement that focuses your writing. You say, "This is what I'm going to prove." The best thesis statements will also tell how you're going to prove it. So not only do I think that this historical event has impacted our world, but I think that this historical event has impacted our world in this way: point one, point two, and point three. And what that really does is it helps you focus on what your body paragraphs are going to say because you have focused on it in your thesis statement. You know that your body paragraphs are going to prove point one, point two, and point three. And that way, whenever you look at your writing, you can tell whether you've been successful or not. Did you prove point one, point two, point three? And if you did, then do they all work together to prove your overall point that this thing has impacted the world in this way? Okay, and that's essentially what good writing does. That's what we're looking for. Hopefully, that's what you can do. Please like and subscribe my videos. Tell me what you need to know about. If you need more information about writing, how can I help you? And I'll make a video for it.